Hi there. Welcome to class 3 in my 6-part series for hacking the mind for better business. My name is J. Robert Parker. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and owner of Twin Ravens Hypnotherapy and Research LLC. For those of you that have seen the previous in this class series, welcome back. For those of you, this is your first time, that's fine too. I welcome you to go back and watch the previous classes in the series anytime you want. We talk about something new each time. Previous class, we talked about anxiety and hypnosis and how those are actually brought about by the same process. It's just where you go, whether you go into fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous response, or your parasympathetic response. We talked about the importance of managing stress and discussed a little bit about what anchors are. Anchors are usually referred to as post hypnotic suggestions. They are the smells, words, sights, sounds, the things that we associate with whatever it may be. The smell of baking cookies making you remember your childhood, things like that. And what we are going to be doing today is talking about one of my favorite subjects in all of my job, and that is goal setting. And while goal setting is not that exciting necessarily, the way that it is introduced from my perspective as a hypnotherapist is very interesting because one of the things that I absolutely love, and I'm going to put this up now, is this thing called the reticular activating system. And when we are talking about goal setting, this is what we are discussing. This is the part of your brain is in the hippocampus region that is in charge of filtering whatever you see. It acts as a regulatory device for sleep. It is the thing in your mind that handles the transition from wakefulness to sleep and vice versa. And therefore, as you would have known, anyone that would pay attention to my first class, since hypnosis is not sleep, it is merely the gate to and from sleep. This is also the system that handles trance. And let me get this changed back here. This is what its primary function is it filters people, places, things, whatever have you, aligned to your goal or your worldview. And it puts these in front of you. It makes you notice them. Um, it's a network of input made to direct you to a goal subconsciously. And oftentimes we express this as, oh, it all fell into place or whatever have you. And this reticular system, it's very interesting. And the easiest way for me to demonstrate this system to you is through an unfortunate way, which is depression, because we've all experienced depression. And in those moments when we are experiencing that, it doesn't matter what good we have, what abundance we have, we simply do not see it. It doesn't matter. It can be as clear as day, and we simply do not see it in front of us. Why? Well, it's because we have in those moments programmed that reticular activating system to only see the bad. So we are just stuck in this cycle. And in the same way that when you are depressed, when you're sad, and you only see the bad, you can take control of this system and use it to literally alter your perception and to alter that perception in line with what your goals may be. So anyone listening to this is going to see a similarity with something. And some of you might have heard of something called the law of attraction before. And the law of attraction, or the secret, whatever you want to call it, this is an attempt to mystify through simplicity a complex neurological function. Uh, The law of attraction, if anyone doesn't know, is a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. Well, based upon what I just said, that's simply what you notice. There is always good and bad going on around you. It is the way that you choose to focus your mind. And one of the things I found interesting, because of course, I had to go look at what the actual similarities are. And if you go look at some explanations of this law of attraction, they are virtually identical to the therapeutic things that I do for people to activate their reticular activating system. So basically, they are convincing everyone that this incredibly wonderful, complex system in your mind is just magic, just metaphysics. And personally, I consider that very reductionist, because this is a amazing part of your mind. You can quite literally change what you perceive. And this isn't metaphysical, and hypnosis never is, at least not in my practice. This is science. This is neurology. This is a thing that can be shown to you in your brain that has a function. And part of this thing's function is putting you on the path that you want to be. And one of the things we've talked about in a previous class was this concept of homeostasis, of your subconscious script that you follow, your sense of self, whatever have you. And this reticular system very much also works with that sense of homeostasis, because it's what your subconscious views as your world. And is your world simply sitting there spinning your wheels? If that's what your subconscious believes, it will do anything in its power to make sure that you stay there, up to and including sabotage any attempt you have to move forward. Homeostasis is the reason that we become millionaires and the reason that we stay in abusive relationships. It is what we consider our world. And through changing this, through activating this reticular system, we are able to focus this neurology on what we choose rather than just letting our thoughts run wild. Well, one of the distinctions I wanted to make was on being goal oriented versus setting goals with the reticular activating system. I'm not a big fan of setting goals. Being goal focused tends to cause anxiety, a self-critical attitude whenever you don't meet these goalposts. Whereas a goal that is utilizing your reticular activating system does not have to be even thought of to function. It doesn't have to be something that you constantly remind yourself of. It is subconscious. It is what you notice, what's put in front of you. When you're goal oriented, that goalpost that we talked of, that whether when you don't meet it, you kind of feel negatively. That's a shifting goalpost. It's always, you're never gonna quite make it. Our goals always move. Whereas a reticular goal, when we're talking about using this system, that has no end because there is no goalpost. It is simply the desires which you have for your world, and there's not much of a limit for that. You can continue with this goal, this expanding goal, because as you achieve more, you your self-confidence grows, your concept of what you are able to do with yourself grows. And so therefore this reticular system changes to be able to bring in more. And the question, of course, has to be asked, how do you use this thing? How do you actually make a goal with the reticular activating system? And that's going to be part of what we do today with the hypnotic portion, is to help you figure out what that goal is, to set that goal, and to get that subconscious part of your mind in motion, point in that direction. But one of the things I like to do, I like to give this as homework whenever I'm talking about the reticular activating system, is I want you to think of something that you want, some, be it success or romance or whatever have you. And I want you to write it down in as little or great of detail as you want. You can even draw a little picture that represents what this goal means to you. Personally, for myself, I'm one of those people that likes to write it out in great detail and get this solidly on paper and burn it and just put it out of your head and never think about it again. Because at that point, because I'm a big fan of writing, because writing is something called an ideomotor response, which means this, it has to go from your thought to your mind, from your mind to your hand, from your hand to the paper. It is a committed thought. And by doing this, you have created this subconscious seed. You have created an image in the creation, because that's the trick here, the creation, not the destruction. You have created in that a goal. You have created a vision. And that's why I tell people to burn it, because once you have created it, there's no longer a use for that plan. And there's the difference between a reticular goal and being goal oriented, because being goal oriented would necessitate that you stick to that plan, you post that picture on the fridge, whatever have you. Whereas with this way, you are simply making this thought form in your mind, and you remove the physical representation of that after it's made, so you don't sit there and obsess over it and notice it, and it becomes a subconscious function. The This whole concept of the reticular activating system is so pervasive. When I say this is my favorite subject to talk about, it really is, because this is that thing that when I learned about it just absolutely stunned me, because this is everything behind what we perceive, because everything is perception. One of the things whenever I'm doing a consultation that I talk about is perception and memory, and how that's so subjective. It's the reason witness testimony is the worst type of evidence you can have in court, because if you have 10 different people witnessing a single thing, how many stories do you get out of that? Around about 10. And it's this perception that is really, it's one of the main linchpins behind what I do, because it really says that reality, your sense of self, your personal situation, so much of that is perception. So much of that is the lens that we choose to view things through. And this lens that we view things through drastically changes what we notice in the world. This reticular activating system, which changes or filters what we take in, what we perceive. And welcome, Beverly. Nice to have you. Uh, this is recorded, so anything that you need to catch up on, just I'll have this posted afterwards. So, but right now we're talking about this, the really the main function of this class, which is, as I was saying, this thing called the reticular activating system. It is, and I'll put the picture of it back up. It's a part of your mind or part of your brain in the hippocampus, which filters information to your brain. And why this is significant is this is how we subconsciously set goals. That when I talk about being goal oriented, it's not where we set a goal and we obsess over it, and we get anxious over it, we get self-critical when we don't make it. This is a subconscious goal. This is as I said before, oftentimes when I describe this, people talk about the law of attraction, and the law of attraction is just a metaphysical way to explain the reticular activating system. And that when we set goals, when we have these subconscious goals, it's it's I can see why people think it's metaphysical. It looks like magic, because all of a sudden something that could have been in front of you for years, all of a sudden you take notice of, because it is now programmed in that reticular system that this is part of your goal. This is part of what you're going to use to further yourself towards the end result. And excuse me, what we're going to be doing with our group session today is helping you figure out what that goal is, and to begin to set it. And the way that we're going to do that is one of my favorite things to do in session, and that is introducing somebody to the future self, to your subconscious vision of where you are going, who you will be in 5 years, 4 years, however long it is that you are shown. And whenever you see this manifestation subconsciously of where you are heading, your subconscious just simply begins to align your reticular system, your perception, with the path that leads you there. So this is one of the things that was done for me very early in my career. And actually the first time I was legitimately taken to a deeper state of trance, this was done for me. And I can honestly say that very rarely does a day go by, if ever, that I don't think about who I saw, the my future self, and that person colors my decisions. Like the embodiment of myself I saw is someone that I really want to be, because of course it's my subconscious. It's you get to see what your goal is. Very rarely do we get to see that, because your subconscious has an idea of where you're going and who it wants to be. And as we've talked about in previous classes, your subconscious is the vast majority of what makes up your mind, so to speak. The only thing that your conscious mind, what is here right now talking to me, or listening to me rather, is logic, reasoning, willpower, decision making, very present in the moment things. And that is it. When we're talking about things like memory, emotion, uh the abstract sense of self, uh autonomic functions like heartbeat and respiration, all of that is all your subconscious. It is all able to be spoken to and altered and encouraged with hypnosis, which again is simply just this natural process, this function of the human mind. Um, so when we have this solid vision of where we're heading, of who we're supposed to be, that that allows us to subconsciously make those choices. And I've noticed it changing kind of very subtly the world around me, like the my even as something as small as like my desk, and the way that I choose to present myself and dress and hold myself, because of who I saw in that moment and my desire to be that person. So That's going to be our our goal for today, so to speak. But one of the other things I would like you and anyone listening to keep in mind before we do this is, where do you want to be? What not and I'm not talking about how you get there or anything like that. I'm talking about when I ask you the question, what do you want? How do you want to feel? What's the answer to that? How do you want to feel? What do you want to be? And I don't mean job, unless that your career is what you are truly focused on. Some people, that is it, myself included. Uh, but what your goal is, what you want to get that in your mind, and not to think on it too hard, because that's one of the funnest parts of hypnosis. You don't really particularly have to think about anything too hard. Your subconscious takes care of that part. But really think where you want to be, where you want to go, how you want to feel. And the feel thing is a very important thing, because when I talk about how you want to feel, now you're speaking the language of your subconscious. If you tell your if you think to yourself, oh, I want to write a book, your subconscious kind of knows what that means. But what it more associates with that is the emotion, what book means to you sentimentally, emotionally, intellectually, like concepts, ideas. And this is quite simply the language of the subconscious. That's why um that's why movies exist, frankly. Like, I'm I'm sure all of you have watched a movie. I'm sure that's the thing. I'm sure all of you have felt emotion during a movie. Why? It was a lie. It was a dramatization, and no part of it was true, and you know that. Yet you still feel these things. Why? It's because your subconscious can't differentiate between fact and fiction. And it is partially this idea that we use for hypnosis, because using this idea of your subconscious speaks an emotion and it cannot differentiate between fact and fiction. What does that mean to see your future self? What does that mean to see an idealized version of yourself on the path you are currently on? That means your subconscious actually experienced that and is actually using that to to aim itself to move forward. And these uh this this subconscious targeting, so to speak, uh that's really all we're trying to do. That reads us back all to talking about this reticular activating system. All of these tangential things I've been talking about all leads back to changing your perception of your direction, of what you're capable of what you want, and using and relying upon your subconscious to do just that. So, time for the fun part. So, what I'd like to get everyone to do, if you're listening to a recording, stop now if you don't want to go through the hypnotic portion. But otherwise, just get comfortable. If you are wearing glasses, take off your glasses. Uh, if you're chewing gum, I don't recommend that. I am not there to give you the Heimlich. Anyway, so adjust yourself, get comfortable. All right. Now, all I need you to do at first is just simply focus on your breathing. Breathing in through your nose for a count of 4, and breathing out through your mouth for a count of 4. And if you haven't already, just allow your eyes to close as you focus on maintaining the rhythm of that breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, making sure that each breath in lasts as long as the one before, and each breath out lasts as long as the one before that. And as you relax, focused on your breathing, I would like for you to begin to observe a few changes begin to take place in the body. These are normal, these are natural, but the first change you may begin to notice is a tendency for the breathing to begin to deepen as the body begins to require more oxygen. Again, this is normal and natural, it's simply a part of the relaxation into the alpha state which precedes trance. The next change you may begin to notice is the tendency for the eyes to move around behind the eyelids in little, small, jerking motion. And again, this is normal and natural. And another thing you'll begin to notice as you relax with each breath is a tendency for the mouth to get a little dry, perhaps to want to swallow. And if you want to swallow, you can. That's fine. And as you relax into this breathing, I would like for you to visualize, imagine, picture, or pretend in your mind's eye a clock. Whatever clock comes into your mind, be it real, be it imagined, but a clock with its numbers going around in a circle and its hand. I would like for you to take special notice of one of these hands. Perhaps it's the second hand, perhaps it's the minute, perhaps even the hour hand, or whatever hand you choose. Observe how it spins around and around the face of the clock, turning a little faster each time it passes over the 12, turning and turning. Notice it pass the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 10, and the 12, turning a little faster as it goes, spinning and spinning, passing the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, the 9, the 11, turning faster and faster, still concentrating upon maintaining the rhythm of your breathing as it turns around and around, becoming a blur, spinning faster and faster with each pass of the 12 until it stops at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Deep sleep. Each and every time I say the words to you, deep sleep, for the purposes of hypnosis, and with your permission, you'll return to this state or even deeper and allow the physical body to relax. Good. Now, I'd like for you to allow that clock to fade. Instead, imagine yourself in an old classroom. And at the front of that old classroom is an old chalkboard. Now, I would like for you to imagine yourself closer to this chalkboard, perhaps close enough to smell that familiar dust of old chalk. And notice in front of this chalkboard, below it, is a wonderful array of colored chalk, every color that you can imagine. laid out in front of you. And as you observe these colors, choose one now, whatever color you want. And after you choose one, draw on the chalkboard the number 10 in whatever color you pick. And after you've drawn the number 10, wipe it away. And as it disappears, allow yourself to relax even further into the state of trance. And now picking a new color and drawing on that blackboard the number 9. Drawing the number 9 and wiping it away, relaxing, deepening. Then now picking a new color and drawing the number 8. And even as you draw the number 8, it fades and you relax even deeper. And now a new color in 7 and deeper. A new color in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Deep sleep. Each and every time I say the words to you, deep sleep, for the purposes of hypnosis and with your permission, you'll return to this state or even deeper and allow the physical body to relax. Good. Now allow that classroom to fade as you relax, breathing steadily. And as you relax into your breathing, allow the image of a staircase to form, a well-lit, secure, safe staircase, perhaps real, perhaps imagined, but the staircase has 20 steps going down, and each step that we take down together takes you further into the state of trance and closer to the door at the bottom. And behind this door is a very special person. Behind this door is you. You in 3, 4, maybe 5 years, maybe longer, maybe less. But behind this door is you. And I would like for you to meet this person, and know what your goals are, where you are heading, and how successful and confident you will be. And so now, at the top of the stairwell of 20 stairs, we step down to 19, to 18, down to 17, 16, 15, 14, down to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Deep sleep. Each and every time I say the words to you, deep sleep, for the purposes of hypnosis, and with your permission, you'll return to this state or even deeper and allow the physical body to relax. Good. Now, open this door and step inside and meet the person waiting for you. This you in the future. This you who is successful, confident, who has grown, who has learned, who is everything that you are working to be. And here is the evidence of your success. And take a moment to embrace this person and take note of how they're dressed, how they hold themselves, perhaps even how they smell. But allow yourself to embrace this person, to hear whatever they have to say to you, and to take this moment to commit this person to your subconscious, to allow it to direct you to this success, this confidence, to allow the world around you to form as a target to become this person. And as you speak or embrace or simply exist with this person, this future you, take a step forward and allow this future you to merge with you in the present and the future, to become one person. And as you take a deep cleansing breath in, release and allow yourself to feel the connection with that future self, to know what you want and to allow your subconscious to direct you there. Now, here in a moment, I'm going to count you up and out of hypnosis. But before I do, remember the person that you met today, the focus, the calm, the relaxation, and counting from 0 up to 5, and at 5, returning to a wakeful state of awareness. At 0, there's always the tendency to go a little deeper. At 1, we are closing that door to the subconscious mind. At 2, take a deep breath in and letting it out. At 3, as you become more aware of the thoughts in your mind. 4, more aware of the physical world around you. And 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. Welcome back, everyone. How was that? Everyone feel okay? Thumbs up. Excellent, excellent. Good. Just take a moment to breathe, relax, shake things off. I always have to yawn a bit and take a stretch every time I work in hypnosis. Even doing this from the other end, I still have to shake myself off sometimes. So, just to kind of review what we did, be sure to remember the person, the manifestation of who you met today, because that's going to stay with you in your mind, not as an active thing that's always on your mind, just as we said, a subconscious goal, a subconscious direction. That what we've done today is give your subconscious, your unconscious, whatever you want to call it, a direction. We gave it a target to shoot for, and to subconsciously direct you to align the world around you with. So next class, which will be in 2 weeks, will be on something called flow state. And if you've never heard that, you've heard the term in the groove or in the flow. It's what we're talking about. It's flow state. And it is an expression of theta, which is the trance state. It could kind of be considered active trance. So next time we'll be discussing that giving more tools and exercises to be able to enhance that experience. And otherwise, this class will be recorded for anyone who wants to watch it again, wants to share it, needs to catch up on anything. But I would like to end this by opening up for any questions that you may have about what was done, what you experienced, anything like that. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question about, do you do past life regression work at all?
I do.
Okay.
What are you?
No, I'll let you answer the question.
Oh no, it's I do. It's one of the services I offer. It's one of the more fascinating things that I do. And it's one of those that I have a couple of clients we're working towards that. And when I say working towards that, there is a level of trance needed to do a PLR that is most people can't get there right away, because trance is like an ogre. It has layers, but it's you have to learn how to get to that depth, because PLRs are done in deep trance. And generally, as we work towards that, we're whatever else you wanted to work on, be it motivation or confidence, we address that in the process, because might as well, if we're having to do multiple sessions to prepare for this thing, then might as well do some actual work with it. Now, if you have a lot of experience with hypnosis or transcendental meditation, generally it can be done in 1 or 2 sessions. But yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things to work with people for, because it is very effective for whatever theory people can put forward as to what's actually happening. The thing that's not in question is it's effective. People leave with a real impact of what they saw. So, any more questions?
How many sessions do you need? I suppose it varies person to person, but
3 or 4.
around 3 or 4?
Yeah, sometimes less, sometimes more, but it
To
really
address it.
varies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So do we just, how do we reach you?
Oh, yes. Easiest way to reach me is through my website at www.twinravens.org. Or you can find me on Alignable, Facebook,
Yeah.
any of
Okay.
those. But yeah, email through my website is the absolute easiest way, because it gets flagged in my email. But yeah, if you want to know more about that, we can set up a consultation. We can talk about it. Kelly, any questions?
Oh, I really enjoyed that. It was
Good.
really
Wonderful.
cool.
Wonderful.
And a little bit, like, who's that person that you're going to see on the other side of that door?
Yeah.
And
Anticipation.
yeah, and it could be good or it could be bad.
It's always good. Your subconscious your subconscious always wants the best for you. Always.
Yeah. And then how do you get there?
Well, that's what we let your subconscious put in front of you. Is now that you've seen the goal, now it shows you how to get there. Your subconscious is very, very smart, much smarter than your conscious mind. It can be argued your subconscious is perfect, but it's the conscious mind that makes mistakes and overthinks itself and things like that. But yeah, I'm very glad everyone had a good time. If you want to reach out to me, please do. Absolutely. I am available anytime. Other than that, it was a pleasure teaching this class, and I hope to see you both in 2 weeks whenever we do this again. But otherwise, it was nice meeting y'all, and I will see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.